All right, everybody, welcome back. So we are now pushing forwards. Forward. What we got here is a set of Flutter bindings for the Tox core library that we are attempting to kind of write a wrapper around for easy use, right? So the idea is somebody uh, uses this plugin in their Tox client Flutter application, and this abstracts away most of the Tox interaction, and all of a sudden it's just Dart that they have to know and understand, right? Now the big part of that is it includes the actual binaries, which we of course got from the TokTok Foundation CI tools implementation that we found in btox. But the bulk of the remaining effort seems to just be filling this out. And I'm not going to create a full implementation. Like I said, this is still just a POC, but I think we can go a bit further than this. Certainly would be cool to send out a friend request or a message or something like that, or really interact with the network and prove that using this Dart file. Okay, so first things first, this did not work in the last video. And part of me thinks it's because, I don't know if we can just say .value. Is that how the pointers work? Yeah, it returns an integer. I had to comment this out for the code to work last time. I'm not sure why. How does logging work in Flutter? Is there some sort of... let me look that up. I probably should ask that question. I'll say logging in Dart Flutter. Via print. Simple logger. Log.find. Got the result. Process result. Interesting. Wow. Fine, finer, finest. Config info. There's a significant amount of granularity to these log levels. Okay, I think I'm used to like, I don't know, 5 or 7 log levels. What is this, 9? Wow. That's pretty interesting. I'm curious about the documentation between fine, finer, and finest. Okay. Okay, so the package is called logging. So I assume I have to do like Flutter pub add logging. Let's see if we can get this added. All right, that's straightforward. And then let's see. We create the logger with a class name. And we need to do this somewhere. No, sorry. We need to do this at some point. Simple logging configuration. All right, let's just take the simple logging configuration. I don't have an issue with that. I wonder if I can just put it at the top here. Probably have to import package logging. New. Okay, hold on. Sorry, got a little too trustworthy there. There we go. That a thing? No. Do I need this logging.dart or can I just say package logging? Ay. Let's trust the AI a little less and this a little more. Okay. Flutter. Whoa. Oh, that's the SDK it comes from. I wonder if that's how the packaging works. Like I should say package Flutter / logging. Is that a thing? No, it's not. Maybe bought into that too much. Okay, let's look up the Flutter logging. Let's see if we can get an example and understand how this import statement should look. Same page. Oh, example. Ah! No, this was correct. Okay, I should have tried. See, I should have trusted the AI there. Okay, logging.dart. Function body must be provided. Do I have to put this inside like inside my main application? Okay, so the logger gets configured and then, whoa, excuse me. Oh yeah, right inside the logging. And then everywhere I can just print anything I want. And where does it show up? Oh, probably, I'll take a guess in the console, but I have no idea. Let's try logging. Let me copy the logging deal over, and then we can just print anywhere. Or maybe print is built in, and this is just overriding it. Let's see. Print. Oh, can you put a $ before it, like address? Oh no, that's probably that's probably a formatting token for the strings in Dart. Don't invoke print in a production code. Try using a logging framework. Well, if that ain't what I'm trying to do. Ooh, I can do log.info or something like that. Okay, that almost certainly is going to take importing a package. Okay, let's import the package and let's try log. Let's try log.info. Nothing. Ah, keep doing that. Okay, how did they make this work? Log.shout. Excuse me. Shout is just a log. Okay. Ooh, I have to define log as a logger. Gotcha. Okay. I'm assuming my configuration hopefully was global. We will find out. Log.info. Okay, things look good here. Let's keep this down. I don't need to see Tox. What I need is Tox air new. What is that? Okay, let's run it. Interesting. So my logs show up. Oh, right here. Tox instance created. And then I got a pointer. Address 00. What does that mean? Tox new. Creates and initializes a new Tox instance with options passed. This function will bring the instance into a valid state. Running the event loop with a new instance will operate correctly. Options. And then, hold on. Up at the top, they had a blurb about how the errors worked in null pointers. Events handled by callbacks. Every function that can fail takes a function-specific error code pointer that can be used to diagnose problems with the Tox state or function arguments. An error code pointer can be null, which does not influence the function's behavior, but can be done if the reason for failure is irrelevant to the client. Clients can keep their error code uninitialized before passing it to the function. The library guarantees that after returning, the value pointed to the error code has been initialized. I see. I must have misread that the first time. I thought that they could be that we didn't even need to allocate memory because it was going to allocate memory for us. But that actually sounds stupid when I say it back now. Obviously, it's not going to allocate memory that it doesn't deallocate for every single error message and make us responsible for that. That doesn't make any sense. So we need to allocate the error. Tox error new. Maybe I can just like calc unsigned int. Does that just work? There we go. And now they're gonna set it. Okay, so let me get a reload. Let me do a hot restart. There we go. And our error message points. Beautiful. And now if I do this and I say dot value, it doesn't break. Okay, well, we solved that issue. Let me get rid of this log statement. Honestly, logging and comments are definitely something I should keep heavily packaged inside this little example. Also, probably shouldn't call it example logger. Let's call it talk start. Okay. All right, this looks good. We did name. We could also do status too. That's low-hanging fruit. I am curious about okay. Callback registration is interesting here. That might be outside of our thing or our scope. What about bootstrapping? That's we're gonna have to connect to the DHT if we ever want to, send this friend request. I was looking at this earlier, trying to wrap my head around how this works. Okay, this is what I was reading. Tox Bootstrap takes our Tox instance, or pointer to it. Then the host, the port, and the public key, right, of the Bootstrap node that we are going to try and connect to. Okay. Now these should all be very available. Let's okay, for now let's add a Bootstrap node. Maybe we need Bootstrap see, that's crazy that it just gives me I wonder if I type in Tox Bootstrap if it will oh no, okay, I was about to say guess a correct public key and node name because someone else has tried to do this before, or it'll find btox. Okay, let's just look up Tox Bootstrap nodes. Accessories, Tox Bootcamp, environmental Tox Bootcamp. This, because I didn't, okay, I didn't quite grab notes. Here we go. Tox chat, wiki Tox chat, Tox wiki. Here we go. Active nodes you can connect to. List is actively maintained. Beautiful. Real-time node status. I think this was the other link. What is this? Oh, this is cool. Real-time node status. All right. So we could theoretically just take a ton of these and put them in a file. Okay, let's just grab one of these for now. This guy's in the US, so hopefully close somewhat to me geographically. Let me copy this. Ooh, and then there are these TCP ports. Tox. Thank you, GDR. Okay. Let's see what we're working with here. Let's see. Um, IP address. Is this, what exactly is our types for all of this? Let's see. In the Tox header file, the host name or IP address must be, okay, host name or IP address is carcon, so they're thinking a string. That way they can cover host names, and I assume it's basic IPv4, IPv6, just as strings. And then what is the, what do we have here in Tox FFI? How did they define it? Bootstrap takes a pointer to a car. Okay, I should be able to generate this. And then int port, it's just an integer 53, cool. And then public key pointer uint 8. I didn't realize these also carry the comments across with them in the bindings. That's kind of nice. The long-term public key of the Bootstrap node. Const uint 8t public key. It's in bytes. Okay, so an 8-bit integer, this is essentially just a byte of memory, an array of bytes that is public tox key, public key size long. Okay, that I do not want to F up. Okay, all right, so let's come back here. What was the formatting that we took? It's a giant hexadecimal number. Okay. All right, so this isn't bad. Let me make sure my understanding is correct. How many characters is this? Does it tell me? 64 characters, so that would be 32 bytes. Is that the public key size? Confirm our understanding here. Tox public key size is 32. All right. Okay, so we're not way off here actually. I mean, fundamentally, right? So we have a string hostname, which is an IPv4 address. We have all the proper. We have an integer port, which is 53, and then we need a byte array. And how does Tox Dart show that again? What is a pointer to a uint 8? So I needed to turn this hexadecimal string into a pointer to a uint 8. Let's see if that exists simply online already. Dart hex string to uint 8. Let's just say to bytes, so anyone knows what we're doing here. A byte array in Dart. Cool. Convert. It's in a package also called convert. Package, convert Dart. hex library. What does Dart convert do again? Is this the same one I've been looking at? A lot of strings in base 64, but no hex. No base 16 business. Okay, so is there a byte? I'm curious, is there some sort of byte data? Dart, typed data, byte data. Is there no byte? What is byte data? Let's ask that question. Byte data 8. Uint 8. Set uint 8. Okay, this is interesting. Not sure I'm finding something that completely aligns with what I'm trying to do. Let's go back to Tox score Dart here. My convert string to pointer here returns a uint 8 from a UTF-8 string. They just cast to uint 8. I need a pointer uint 8 here. But there's no way to, yeah, it's interesting because it's a hex string instead of a UTF-8 string. Okay. I feel like there's 100 ways to do this that all seem a little difficult to require a new dependency, and I want to make sure that that's necessary before I do it. I'd like to keep the number of dependencies I'm using somewhat low, right? I mean, this is supposed to be a plugin other people pull, and I don't want them to download my plugin as a dependency, and that needs 7 other random plugins. All right. Let's do Dart hex to uint 8. Let's be a little more specific in what we want to do. Hex to uint 8 list function. Dart typed data. Hex to uint 8 list hex string dot length mod 2. How is the AI doing it here? It says the length of the hex string dot length is I guess string length divided by 2. Supposed to be some sort of fancy division operator. I say fancy. It must be, maybe int specific. Like it guarantees that the result is going to be an integer or castable to an integer. Okay, uint8 list is a uint8 list of length. And then hex string dot substring 2 times I. Okay, so this is converting each individual 2 characters into an integer, and then setting that integer as result I. Okay, uint8 list indexed in. We can just set it. This is actually pretty straightforward. 2 times I, 2 times I plus 1, our hex string. Okay, this is perfect. My question is this uint8 list. Is there a way to convert from a uint8 list to a, I hope, easily to a pointer? Let's say I had a uint8. Ooh, is there an array? Oh, there's an array and a list. What is our difference in these types? Let's maybe ask that question too. Let's see, Dart list versus array. Yes, they are the same thing. What? Interchangeably. No distinct array class in Dart. Well, that's just a lie. Okay. For set map collections, lists, sets, so what in the world is an array? Okay. So lists have a couple of the extra bells and whistles for dynamically resizing under the hood. Okay, so whereas arrays are going to be static. Wait a second. This is just talking about lists and arrays in general. This isn't talking about Dart or Flutter specifically. Lists and arrays in Dart. Seth Ladd, here we go. Arrays are lists. Okay. I'm going to assume that the list is what I'm supposed to use because that's what everyone else keeps talking about. There is a small part of me that wonders what the array is still. Who really knows? Okay, so here's our public key. This is not going to be from list. Also, it would probably treat this as UTF-8. So what we want to do is parse each every 2 digits, the same thing that that business gave us. Hold on. First though, can I just create one kind of generically with like a size? And then my question is public key dot is no dot to, why would I say, oh, because of that K. Public key dot hash code. Is there a way to get a pointer from? Address returns pointer uint8. That's perfect. All right, this will do. All right, so we are going to write a little converter that takes a, let's have it take the string and turn it into a pointer uint8, same thing. Convert, and we're just going to say hex string. That's the real difference here. And instead of that, let's go get our AI generated code. Here we go. Do I need typed data for this? What is that for? Let's hold off on this. Let's just do this. There we go. And we say one more of those, and string format exception list uint8 list. Beautiful. Result dot address. No. What's going on here? Can only be used as an argument to a Leaf native external call. The memory address of the underlying data. What is going on here? Doesn't it return a pointer uint8? Yes. Is there a, sorry, pointer dot from function? Okay, how did I get this? Sorry, let's look up here. We cast. Okay. Sorry. uint8 list to pointer uint8 dart. Oh, another function for this? My gosh. Native bytes? That's interesting. Do I need to allocate native memory? And copy it in? Maybe this is what I really should be doing. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, but then I'm the one who's supposed to free it up. Is there no way to just... get the address of what I'm using. They always calc. And then as type list. Wow. It's the same thing that's happening here everywhere. Alright. But then I'm supposed to free it up too. Must be because the pointer must be putting, there must be some address space difference or management difference between variables that interact with the native code and variables that interact exclusively in Dart. Unsure why that difference is there, but it must be. So, and we're going to have to free it at the end of this. Maybe we can pass in actually the pointer, and that way we can calc from whoever calls this. That probably seems better. So we'll have our string, and then we'll have our result. And we'll just assume that this is a pointer that's already been allocated with the correct amount. And then result dot as typed list. No, because result is what I'm calling this. Fair enough. Result. Okay, let's just call this result pointer for now. There we go, as typed list, and then result dot length, and then native bytes dot set all result, and then return result pointer. Beautiful. Okay, so for some reason this should work, and if I say list, nope. If I say pointer uint 8 public key calc uint 832, and then that public key, and then there we go. And then we can call whatever we need to call. At the end of the day, right, it's going to be bindings, Tox Bootstrap with the Tox instance, our host. Maybe we should have called that host, make it easier. Port, public key, and then our error. We need Tox error Bootstrap. There we go. And then host needs to be convert string to pointer. What does it take? Oh, it needs to be a pointer to a car, not a pointer to a uint 8. Can I cast it to a car here? I don't think I got clear enough here. No. For guaranteed 8-bit integer, use aidint. Is there a native car? No. Okay, native UTF-8 to Dart string. String, hashcode length, cast pointer. Can't be returned from this method. Oh, because it's supposed to be pointer car. Beautiful. Okay, so it was possible. And we can say to car pointer, char pointer. Okay, and then set name should use the U8 int, and then I want to use the car here. Interesting. Not sure why they do U8 int somewhere and car in other places, but gotta move with it. Okay, so my understanding is that this should work to a certain degree. I do realize that I am callicking in various places and I'm never freeing up that memory, and that is not okay and is memory leaks, and I will have to address that. Still trying to see if I can get this bootstrap to work. I'm going to have to move through this whole thing in a little bit and really make sure it's well commented. All right. So this should ideally call the bootstrap method. What is our concern here? What happens after bootstrap? How do we figure out after we call bootstrap if the connection came up correct? Oh, Tox connection. Tox connection to string. Tox self get connection status. Beautiful. Okay, let's do this. Let's write a wrapper for this. Get connection. What is it word? Return. Get connection status is deprecated. Whoa. Deprecated. Tox self connection status callback. Set the callback for this self connection status event. Ooh, see, I didn't think I would have to do callbacks, but this is interesting. This event is triggered whenever there is a change in the DHT connection state. When disconnected, a client may choose to call the Tox bootstrap again to reconnect to DHT. Note that this state may frequently change for short amounts of time. Clients should therefore not immediately bootstrap upon receiving a disconnect. To do, how long should a client wait before bootstrapping again? That is a good question. Okay, so we are supposed to pass a callback, and it is a pointer. Tox self connection CB, a pointer to a callback. How does that work? Is this defined somewhere? Oh, it is. Oh gosh, Tox self connection status callback is a method that takes a pointer to a Tox connection status, and a user data. And what exactly is a user data? It just says pointer. Oh, user data is something I can set. I remember that from the original introduction, right? It's something that I can use to keep track of different things. Okay, so I need to define my own Tox self connection status callback. get the pointer for that, and then pass that in here. Okay. Let's write this all out. This is now a little confusing. So what we need to do is say like void get connection. Too much. Void connection status change. Let's say connection status change is we receive a pointer to a Tox. Nope, pointer to a Tox. Integer status. Oh, look at that. See, how did it pick that up so quickly? Did that show up in here? What is it called exactly? It's called self-connection status CD. Type def is any function that takes a talk, an unsigned integer, connection status, and a pointer to a void. Oh. Okay, we're gonna see if we can map this out, because if we can, I think we are in business. Okay, I like this. We just log the status changed, and I think it's unsigned int. Cool. And then what we need is does it return void? Yes. Returns void. It also needs to take a user data, a pointer void user data. Beautiful. Okay, and then what we want to do is void set callback for connection status change. Bindings, Tox, that's not what it's called, Tox. Self set connection Tox event self connection status get connect. What in the world is it called? wait, what is it really called? Self connection status. Okay, Tox callback self connection status takes Tox pointer dot from function. What is that? Connection status change. Okay, the type void function pointer Tox unsigned int pointer void must be a subtype of void function pointer Tox unsigned int pointer void. Am I being punked here? These are identical. Void function pointer Tox unsigned int pointer void. Void function pointer. Oh my gosh! You know what it is? Look at this. It's a. I can't even. It's a lowercase v and an uppercase v. It's got to take a void. And then I have to return null pointer. No. Abstract classes can't be initiated. So how do I get a void? Can I return none? Or null? There is no null. There is only null pointer. Can I put in user data dot value? How do I? It keeps saying return null pointer, but that's not gonna work. Oh my gosh. This This is where things get a little bit tricky. What is going on here? Now it is identical, right? Void function pointer tox. Void function pointer tox. Unsigned int pointer void. Unsigned int pointer void for from function. Convert Dart function to a C function pointer. Converts a Dart function to a C function pointer, automatically marshalling the arguments and return value. If an exception is thrown while calling f, the native function will return exceptional return, which must be an assignable return type of f. Okay, let's slow down. Let's say void. Oh, you know what? Let's see. They say that void is an abstract class. Let's see. Does anyone implement you? Go to implementations. No implementations found. As a marker in type signatures. That is. Oh, God. So how do I actually implement the message then? Ah! I can have a pointer to a void. This is confusing. Is there anything I can return here? What is a null? Capital N. No. Ridiculous. Okay, maybe this doesn't have to be void. Let's see. Let's understand the difference in here. And can I, hold on, can I just define this method inside this other method? I mean, the callback is never actually going to get used outside of the set here. Okay, yes, cool. And now if I do void here, I understand that this is an issue, but why is this wrong? Okay, type void function, let's understand this, must be a subtype. Try changing one or both of the type arguments. Void is defined in home list public. Oh, maybe they're different types. Okay, hold on. So this is native type Dart 130.22, FFI Dart 43.13, Tox score FFI Dart 13. Are these the four types or the three types? Yeah, the four types used here. Unsigned int C type Dart 283.13. Okay. Native type Dart 130.22. Okay, so it is the same exact void. 43.13, 12.2.11.13, 12.2.11.13, 283.13. Okay, so they are definitely the exact same types, defined in the exact same places. The type, what is this? Let's look at this a little closer. must be a subtype. Does that mean it can't actually be the type? Okay. A diagnostic in two cases. Okay. In an invocation of pointer from function or a native callable constructor where the type argument, whether explicit or inferred, isn't a supertype of the type of the function passed as the first argument to the method. A supertype. In an invocation of the dynamic library lookup function where the first type argument isn't a supertype of the second. Okay. The following code produces this diagnostic because the type of the function isn't a subtype of the argument. If the function is correct, then change the type of argument to match. Wait, maybe I'm using from function wrong. Why does it say from function 5? Because f is a function that takes a double. And type def t. An int8 function that takes, oh my gosh. But they defined a type. Hold on. They defined a type. Is that not covered over in this? Look at that. Tox self-connections. Yes. How did they define that function? Hold on. How did they define that function? So this is the type I want it to be. What is this 5 that gets passed in? Hold on. Is there a... From function takes function, and then optional and object, exceptional return. Okay, the argument pointer native function can't be assigned to the parameter type pointer tox self-connection status CB. This is confusing. Okay, let me see how btox does this. This is confusing, right? They must deal with callbacks somewhere, right? U function pointer c enum allocator identicon fake sodium manifest toxcore. 2 more matches inside this file. Okay, handle error. Allocator t function int u function pointer c enum callback. API exception to enum. Wait, it said that there were 2 more matches in here. Let's see. Callback error. T function pointer tox options callback. And then someone passes in a method that matches that. given to from function must be a valid Dart FFI native function type. Okay, I don't think this is going to just solve my problems here. Let's get rid of this. Let's come back to this issue. Whoa, Tox iterate. That's cool that the AI is so familiar with this. Oh, why did I say Tox? I meant Flutter. Purely as a marker burr. Yeah, so it's not constructible. There's no way to do it. What do I say? I will always throw an exception. Okay, beautiful. It still does not resolve our issue. Because it doesn't think it's a subtype. Am I able to even define the type here? Let's see if I can even define a type that works, and then see if we can work that in. What do they call it? It was like it's a native function. Function type def. Tox connection status user data. Wait. No. Changing the variable argument. Because Tox self connection status type is a native function. I can't declare my function as a native function. Wait, is that going to be a problem that this thinks it's taking a native function as a callback and I'm sending in a regular function as a callback? Or I say regular, a Dart function as a callback? Is that, I mean, does that destroy this? It seems a bit complicated here. I wonder if that's the issue here, that all the variables are the same types, but when I say function, I'm talking about function and they're talking about native function. Can't be. They would have said native function. These are all identical still. They want a pointer to a native function. Void function pointer tox. But pointer.from function gives us a pointer to a native function to t. pointer talks unsigned in, pointer void, callback. This is perfect. Void. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. All right. So this is definitely an issue. For some reason, it really doesn't like my callback. I'm not sure why, though. It seems to think this is a different type than what it is. All right, let's close this down. Did the diamond operator do something there? Oh, because now the diamond operator is. No, it did not. Okay, and then too many positional arguments. Let's assign type T, right? T type T gets. No, just function. Yeah, this. We can put T here. Isn't a type. What's type? Is it supposed to be a lowercase type? No, declared in type Dart core. Oh, it's got to be a native function type. It's got to be this. This was definitely the right thing that I had in there. Wait, why isn't this working now even? It was supposed to be void function. Yeah. There we go. Ay, ay, ay. This is too much. This is too much. How does this not work? Okay, let me go back to btox one more time and just see. They say that they pass in a callback that already matches this type, right? Let me find that. Extension on API.tox options t.withNative callback. But where do they call? Let's hold on. Can we look up? We're talking about connection status specifically. Okay, connection status. Here we go. This is like the icon. Connection status. Events. Here we go. Tox event type unpacker event.unpack. This event processing seems confusing. Ah, okay. I feel like there must be some way to define my Dart function so that I can pass this in, but maybe that's just faulty logic. What's happening here? Too many positional arguments. Expected 2, found 3. What am I supposed to pass in? Just Tox up callback. Okay. And then is from function supposed to take anything else? No. Possible objects for exceptional return. For if we hit an exception while, okay, executing this function. No way this works. This has to be even further off. Ay, ay, ay. The argument of type pointer native function void function can't be assigned to the parameter type pointer tox self connection status CB. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's pull this out and just say that we have a pointer to a native function. These types are getting a little crazy, and there's a lot of casting going on here, so I feel like it makes sense to kind of align them all. Pointer to connection status change. Okay, and then at the end of the day, what we really want is a pointer to, what is it called? Tox Tox self connection status CB callback pointer. Casted. Okay. Now this callback pointer can be passed here, right? Yes. Okay. So once we get the callback pointer, we can pass it. And the callback pointer is being cast from pointer to connection status change. And pointer to connection status change is, see, but it can't be void. It has to be void. And here we go. Okay. Void function pointer tox unsigned int pointer void must be a subtype of void function pointer tox unsigned int pointer void for from function. It does not consider it a subtype. Let's see. Flutter FFI from function must be a subtype. Has anyone else run into this? This is for the lookup function. So the idea is that maybe I am using the wrong types, and that they must be a subtype. Okay. Let's say I'm doing void. int. Oh my gosh, that's what it was this whole time. You gotta be kidding me. Is the cast implicit if I just do this? Crazy. That was all it took. And it's actually void now, so I don't even need this. Oh, this was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. It was because the int, I was matching, that's what it is. Man, I was matching the native type. I was matching the C, or the Dart FFI wrapper for the native type instead of the actual Dart native type. Base type, whatever these types are called. Okay, so the connection status changes whenever we do this, and when we call Bootstrap, we expect the connection status to change. All right, here's what I want to do. In main Dart, I am just going to call Bootstrap. Let's set name, and then Tox.Bootstrap. And, oh wait, I was supposed to set the connection status before I did this. All right, we restart. Whoa. Dart FFI only supports calling static Dart functions from native close. Closures and tear-offs are not supported because they can capture context. Context status change is not static. Am I able to declare it as static? I don't know what it would mean to declare a static function inside of a non-static. Instance members can't be accessed from a static method. Whoa, noticeable delay. I didn't get a log. That's strange. I didn't even get the log for, sorry, I didn't even get the first log. How do I even know? Did bootstrapping finished? Hold on, let's add a log for bootstrapped. Bootstrapped, but no connection status change. How do I get the current connection status? Ah, I should have just used that deprecated API. I just want to know. Why is my callback not getting triggered? When I set the callback, is there a... Oh, I'm not even checking the error. Maybe I'm getting an error code. Of course, that's what's happening. Not even checking the error. Tox error bootstrap. Right there. Bootstrapped. Let's just print out whatever the error is here. Bootstrapped, a pointer address. That was fair. Okay. Bootstrapped 0. Okay, function performed successfully. How do I... a little confused here. So the callback gets sent in. The callback is not getting triggered. Ay. Okay, let me go into Tox.h. Let's go right to the source here and say, when we bootstrap, are we expecting the callback to change? True on success. Okay, so it must be successful. Do I have to iterate once in order for the connection to be established? Friends, delete friends, add friends, friends. How does the connection work? Get connection status. Wait, what was that? Invite, send message, get connection status. Ah! Okay, let me just try the deprecated one real quick. I think there's an issue with the callback, but I want to at least verify that the connection status was good before we end the video here. All right, let's try this out. Tox self get connection status. Okay, let's come back in here. Let's just define a new method. We'll call it void and we'll just print it out. Get connection status. Just a little debug method, make sure we're on the right track here. And binding self dot get connection status. Tox. Value of tox connection can't be assigned to variable int. What does this method return? Returns a tox connection. Cool. Status, and then print out. Status is a... Okay, yeah, let's try this. And we'll just call get connection status after bootstrap. Okay. Dot get connection status. Alright. Reload. Bootstrap 0, current connection status, tox connection none. There you go. There's your answer. That's why we're not getting anything. Tox connection none. Now offline. Ah! Okay, how do we start a connection? Was that not what the bootstrap is. Maybe I didn't fully understand. Maybe you bootstrap and then you start the connection. Can we go to see Tox Square? I just want to see a simple client implementation and see what all they have to do in order for the connection to be online. There's like a generic tiny little, here we go, mini Tox, minimal Tox client, MIT license. I think it's all in one file, minitox.c. It's a full Tox client in one little C file. So cool. Okay. DHT node, command. Let me actually start up here. Main. Waiting to be online. Set up REPL. Set up Tox. Create Tox, init friends, bootstrap, self-connection status. It sets up all of its callbacks. Isn't that interesting? Wait, hold on. So they bootstrap, and then they initiate all of the callbacks. Okay, and then what do they do after that? Set up Tox. And then what does iterate do? What does Tox iterate do in just regular Tox score? See? Huh. Do messenger, do group chats. At least 20 times per second. Wow. Networking poll, TCP server, net crypto, onion client, friend connection, friends, GC, connection status callback. Maybe you have to iterate in order for the connection status to work. You have to iterate once. Should we add one iterate and see what happens? Oh, God. Okay, this is going a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Okay, where's Tox iterate? Let's just try calling it once and see if that changes anything. Here we go. Takes a Tox, takes a user data. Let's do it. Let's write it out. It's one tiny little. These bindings are getting smaller and smaller. That's right. Iterate. Tox. Self. Or is it just Tox iterate? Tox iterate takes Tox, and then oh, because I didn't call. All right, I'm no longer calling the connection status. No, our callback didn't get triggered at all. Yeah, didn't do a darn thing. All right, we're gonna have to pick this up in the next video. Progress today. definitely some progress in writing some of these bindings down. Thank you.